today. Let's play the video. Hello everybody, and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will, I'm a D&D sex icon, and I'm back today with the very first episode, in fact, the zeroest episode of the new game, Monthly Modules, that's here every Monday at 1 PM Eastern. We've got the full cast and crew with us today for our little Session Zero, so let's go around the crew, let's figure out who we are, and, get into it today. We're going to be doing some Session Zero stuff. Lauren will talk us through what's going on. We'll talk about our characters. You guys can ask us some questions and all that good stuff. So let's start with our Dungeon Master, our new Dungeon Master, Oboe Crazy. Lauren, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm excited. I felt very honored that if you had to find another Lauren to take over the seat, that it was me that you picked.
There must always be a Lauren in the DMs.
Yes. Although I'm perfectly happy to go by Oboe Crazy to try to minimize the confusion. But I'm excited. We're going to do some Session Zero, and it's going to be weird and fun, and I'm going to ask all sorts of really awkward questions.
Yay! Good stuff. Great. Can't wait. Chris, you look very worried. But awkward questions. Oh god, I didn't realize we were playing Spin the Bottle. Thank you guys for the subs as we come in here. Welcome in, everybody. We also have with us Holly Zomri. Sam, how you doing?
I am good. I am tired, but I'm really excited for this Session Zero and to talk about what's happening this season and stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely. Good. We also have Chris with us today. Chris, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great, actually. Can't wait to delve into the new campaign, see what's in store, and I'm interested to see who this new character is that's cooked up. Can't wait. Yeah.
Indeed. And speaking of which, Lauren, how you doing?
Oh, hi! I'm great. I am really, really excited to get to play with all of these people who totally still love me after I DM'd for them. I can tell from their smiles.
So much love.
So much love. I'm so excited. I'm just excited. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
Good stuff. And last but not least, we have Toto G with us. How you doing, friend?
Doing good, doing wonderful. Had a wonderful weekend, and I'm excited for this new season, especially to get to be tutored by another awesome Lauren. And I have to say, like everyone in chat, this background and layout is amazing. I love it. So
I've got another thing coming. I've got another thing coming as well, but we
oh,
may have to
another
wait.
thing coming. Regardless, it's absolutely gorgeous, and I'm excited for the new season.
Yes. Also, a shout out was we're on a topic to Jupiter Wolf, aka Jovina, who has created all of the overlays for the new season on Encounter Roleplay. So that's gonna be fucking cool. But let's do this. As for myself, I'm great. Thanks for asking, everyone. And I'm kidding. And I'll be back with my same character as last season. I'll remind you guys, of course, we are sponsored by D&Dice.co.uk. Go to the website, save yourself some dice, 10% off at the moment. So go over there and save yourself some money on some beautiful dice. And of course, you can follow the show, you can retweet the show. I figure any viewer decisions that we hit can equal viewer decisions next week, so go ahead. So, Session Zero does mean you can do bad things in preparation, yes, Reva, but we won't be getting into any actual play today. So, I'll hand over to our Dungeon Master, Oboe Crazy. How do you want to do this thing? I mean, this is your Session Zero, take it away.
How do I want to do this?
Yeah.
Am I killing you all right now? All right, here we go.
Whoa.
That was super quick. I'm excited. So this is going to be a slightly different Session Zero than I usually run, because usually I run a Session Zero with a whole group that's all starting out brand new. But I am in the very fortunate position in where I have a crew that's already been rolling together for quite a while, and I'm the newbie. So this is kind of a Session Zero in where we're going to be getting to know each other, and also kind of deciding where you want to go from here. So for anybody that might be curious about the idea behind monthly modules, when Will came to me and said, hey, do you want to DM? I said, hey, I got this idea, which is using a set of characters who have character progression, except all of the adventures are essentially one-shots. So every episode or every 2 episodes, basically once a month or so, it will be a self-contained adventure, which means if you're new to our little show, you won't have to worry about 16 episodes worth of backstory. But like any good episodic TV show, the characters should continue to grow and change and have interpersonal relationships and things like that. I kind of like to think of it as Star Trek, like the old Star Trek, like Next Generation. So I want to know which of you is growing the beard this season, because that's usually the sign that something cool is going to happen. Who's going to be the Riker?
Great,
I can try. I don't know if
I can try.
Yeah, we already have the beard, so it'll have to be one of you girls.
New beard. So I figured we'd start off with a little bit of introduction of your characters, especially since we've got a new character here in the mix. So why don't we start with our new character, Lauren? Who are you gonna be?
Damn it!
I was hoping. I was like, don't make her wait till the last part.
No, let's just jump right in.
I love sitting here in silence. Okay, so what I came up with, I wanted a way to connect, since I thought that the party would, the players rather, would be staying with their same characters. So I wanted to come up with a character who was already connected somehow, especially since, we're playing at level 7, and I just wanted to make it an easy transition. So I bounced this idea around with Lauren and then just kind of said it, and now it's a thing. So I am playing Sugar Adelard, the baby sister of Rylan and Ziomedes, who is also an Azamar. She hasn't seen them in a while. She's a paladin of Sunni and little sneaky warlock of something else that you don't know about. You don't need to know about it. It's chill. She's a super chill paladin slash warlock. And yeah, I just thought that would be a good way to connect with everyone immediately, so there's not like, why is this rando person with us? And because I think the Azamars are ridiculous, and I enjoy being ridiculous.
Do you mean like the race Azamar? Or you just
No, I mean those
current
two.
Azamar?
I mean those two.
Oh, yeah.
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 Do you have a nice butt too?
My butt's the best butt in the family.
Okay. I
Prove
guess
it.
we'll have to find it out.
No, we're not rolling for that. It's
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
It's
we
just-
are. And I'm using a nat 20 on it, so.
well, then I would too. It's just gonna go back and forth.
Well, I'm just gonna have to roll that everybody has equal awesome buttage.
I would like to protest and say that my butt is the best butt.
Listen, you can say whatever you want, but
I can, because we're playing a role-playing game and I can say it.
I know you are, but I'm the Lauren in charge now, and I say
You're right.
Oh!
You're right.
Damn.
You're right.
Wow,
You're right.
Fire!
You're right.
that took all of 5 minutes.
I already like you so much.
Oh, good. Wait until I kill you all. That'll be great. Let's move on to some of the other Azamars that we are a little more familiar with. Chris, why don't you talk a little bit about Ziomedes?
Okay, so Ziomedes is the barbarian of the group. He's obviously the brains as well. No, he's not that intelligent, but he's steadfast loyal to the group and especially his brother. And so he's trying to do the right thing, tries to do the best for the party, but he doesn't know how to handle all the situations. So sometimes he gets the group in more trouble than they started in, and especially in poor old Alindra's little roguish antics. We're trying to make a heist, and then I end up telling the person who we're trying to steal the necklace off of the actual plan. And yeah, I remember lots of mistakes Ziomedes made. But when it comes to combat, yeah, there's no one better to have on your team than a raging barbarian. So slicing his way through. Oh yeah. But no, he's an aspiring champion of Bahuma. He wants to be the greatest, like no one ever was. He has to really prove himself, and his end goal really is to maybe one day be challenged by Bahamut himself. There's a legend that great warriors are tested, their strength is tested against the great platinum dragon itself, and to fight against his own kind of deity or his idol would be a dream come true for him. So he tries to do heroic deeds. He tries to be a hero at heart. That's what he wants to accomplish. But yeah. And of course, he stumbled into the group with his brother, and now he's found something else he wasn't expecting. So, yeah, new emotions. He found.
What did he find, Chris?
What did he find?
What did you find?
Or what found him?
Indeed, you could argue they found each other there.
Aw. Well, before we go into what you found, let's talk about the brother that came along with your package. Why don't we talk a little bit about Rylan?
Yes. Also one production note is that you should be able to, on desktop, I'm not sure if it's on mobile yet, you should be able to look on the screen and scroll over on the screen, and you'll be able to click on our characters' little portraits, and you'll be able to learn about our characters, our class, our levels, and our things. I might not have Lauren's in yet, I'm not sure, but yeah. Should be able to do that on desktop. So Ryland, he is the Azamar sorcerer of the brothers. He is the dark side of the Force compared to Ziomedes being the Qui-Gon Jinn. I'm more of the Anakin, I guess. And
I'm so sorry.
yeah, he was sort of never. I think he never really got accepted by his family so much as Ziomedes did, being the more popular brother growing up, and so Rylan sort of turned to the dark arts, as it were. So he's not evil or anything necessarily. He definitely has a fascination with death and undeath, but purely for scientific reasons only. There's that. He also has issues, social issues about learning to talk with people. But he's been growing on it. He's been working on it with the help of his friends. So he found connection with his friends and with Nyla. Although I don't think they're confirmed as a ship yet. He
We haven't been
they're basically as good as, but and he also sort of worked stuff out with Ziomedes last season, because it turned out that he had actually murdered his ex-fiancée for reasons, and reasons of viewer decisions, and so he kind of worked that out with Ziomedes at the end of last session. So I think they're sort of back on track as brothers, but there is a bit of brotherly angst and a bit of jealousy going on there. I think Rylan is probably quite jealous of Ziomedes because he's the I walk in the light kind of paladin, and Rylan's I hide in the shadows. It's dark and cold here. So yeah, he's working on it.
Batman and Superman of...
Yeah.
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 And I am Bane.
My name is Rylan Adelaide.
Well, since Nyla has come up a couple of times, why don't we go to Nyla and tell us a little bit about your character?
Nyla's an elf ranger. She grew up in a clan where her father and mother decided to basically arrange a marriage for her, which she was not into, so she ran away and found herself in Darkhold, being taken in by the Hunters Guild, and then the man who trained her died, and she became very close with his wife. And she wasn't much for people. She doesn't like people that much, but when she met her new friends, she, tried to fit in as best as she could. She's a little awkward with talking about things. Yeah, and then with her and Rylan, she wasn't really sure what was happening in the beginning, because he was just talking to her dad, and she was like, why? What is happening? But, she grew to like him and care about him. And, her dad's a tree.
I love the offhand way that you're just like, oh yeah, and by the way, Dad's a tree.
It's a thing.
Yeah. And finally, although this wasn't intentional, but the lovely Trinkle.
Oh yes, of course. Trinkle Teabottle is quite a unique character. She's probably one of my favorite characters that I developed because she grew up in a little halfling city called Wake Run, and she is the middle of 14 boys, and their parents run essentially like a cathedral, well, not a cathedral, but a temple to Ilmater, and she was in this choir boy choir, acting like a boy because all her siblings are boys, so like parents are like, looks weird if you're the only girl there. So she kind of grew up with this very boy mentality. As she learned to sing, she realized she actually had healing powers to her music, and that's something that wasn't kind of in the family, and her parents kind of used that a little bit. Hey, there's this girl who can heal other people, let's make use of it at our awesome temple at Freelmater. And yet sadly a local hag kind of found out, a sea hag, and she disguised herself, came and kidnapped her and took her off for many years. And as much as Trinkle kept praying to her god, Ilmater, nothing seemed to happen for many years, and it kind of really caused a huge crisis of faith for her. And as she's trying to come to this terms, she decides to just pray to a god. She's like, if there's any god who will listen to me, please save me, essentially. And immediately after she did that, a local paladin, gentleman, what she calls Sparkles, comes and saves her, takes her off, and pretty much just says, I have been summoned by my god. I can't tell you who it is yet because I was banned from telling you, but essentially to save you because you have a purpose in this world. And essentially she kind of got this idea that her purpose was to sing the songs of other great people like him, these paladins. So she became the fangirl of heroes, essentially. That's what she wanted to be. She saw herself as writing the stories, singing the songs, and just, going into battle not to be a hero, but rather to help the hero, if anything. And so she immediately kind of stumbles upon these Adelar brothers, and she is just infatuated with them. She thinks they're the most cool things ever. They're everything she wanted, and she felt like, yes, this is the people who I need to follow. They followed Bahamut, or well, one of them did, and I don't know about you, actually. That's
technically I'm a draconic sorcerer, so
okay.
My bloodline is, but he doesn't really actively follow.
Well, regardless, somehow that all worked.
Lapsed Bahamut.
Yeah. So long story short, she decides that this is the best thing for her to go hang out with these people, and she kind of stalked him for a long time, until one day they end up kind of meeting up together, and through all their adventures, she has been able to kind of settle some scarred feelings, especially about the sea hag and about her god and everything, and essentially has come to realize that what her god, what she says is Bahamut, through prayers to Bahamut and stuff, she has discovered that Bahamut didn't want her to be just a heroic sidekick, but rather to become the hero Bahamut wanted her to be there in the battle to help almost kind of become the song that she was supposed to sing. And so that's kind of she's going through this transition where she's no longer seeing herself as this like kind of side story character, but rather she's actually becoming who she feels like she wants to be, especially for a certain someone who she rather wants to be a partner in, not just someone who, just cheers that person on. Rather, work together as a couple rather than just be, a fangirl. So that's Trinkle Teabottle.
And it's an awesome crew that I am happy to DM for. And one of the other questions that I usually like to ask in my session zeros or in later seasons, if I've been running a game for players for a while, is kind of a twofold thing. What is it what's kind of the immediate goals of your character, and what would you like as a player? Usually when I run a true episode 0 that is a beginning of a campaign, it includes a lot of, are you looking for more combat? Are you looking for more role play? Are you looking for fat loot? You know, you guys have been playing for a little while, so you might have a more nuanced answer, or you might not. You might just be like, hey, we're level 7 now and I want to fight a dragon. So
Oh, yeah.
I would love to know, you know, as what are kind of your immediate wants and desires as your character, and then also as a player, what is the thing that you either want to dig into more or you're interested in exploring more? Let's start with Nyla.
Oh
Let's
God.
change it up. Surprise! Initiative. Go.
Okay, immediate for Nyla. She, I guess, is in a weird place in her life. Like, she feels like she finally found, like, friends and, like, they're becoming a family. So I guess for, like, Nyla, it would just be, like, really to continue to bond with her friends and finally feel, like, accepted somewhere, because she never felt that with her clan. And I guess as a player, I don't know, just like great games.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. And
Yeah.
listen, I'm serious when I say everything from, you know, I want some more deep and meaningful connections with this character, or I really kind of want a +1 longsword. Like all totally. I'm gonna give it to you, but you know, they are all perfectly valid answers. So
Yeah.
well, you think about that. If you
Okay. Yeah.
jump back in, we'll skip over to Ryland. What about you and your character? Immediate wants and desires.
I think Ryland's immediate concern was the events in Darkhold. He was very concerned about all of that, and he was also very concerned that Nyla was safe. I don't think he has yet really understood what his feelings for her are. So I think that would be probably quite entertaining to continue to explore, because he's just such a a dickhead when it comes to talking to people. So I think that will be pretty fun to explore. And I love personally just it's such a soap opera to me with these characters, because they're all really connected in various different ways. So I, as a player, would enjoy getting to see the different characters' relationships develop in various different ways, friendships or relationships. That I think is what I'll most enjoy. Ryland also just really craves power, so if there's ever anything that will allow him to get more powerful, he will probably take that. Possibly at the detriment of his relationships with friends and people, so that's definitely something that you could screw with there.
First weapon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please no.
All right, and then I guess let's skip over to Sugar, who we've only briefly met. How about your, as a DM now becoming a player, what are kind of your goals and desires?
For her, I know specifically she is trying to do anything she can to redeem herself for a past action. So I know that's a big immediate goal, and will sway her, kind of influence her as she goes forward. As a player, I've always been a person, and I think I was realizing this recently, who enjoys the game part of this as much as the roleplay part, but both equal. It's not one or the other for me. I enjoy both things. I enjoy combat and destroying things, and it's really fun for me. I like rolling a lot of dice. I just do. But I do love all the drama, as anyone I know will tell you. So that's always lots of fun for me. Really nothing too specific, I guess, in that area. Yeah, that's me.
All right, 50-50 combat and drama. Or if I can manage to have a soap opera during a fight.
That's my dream. That's my dream.
Oh my god.
We've had, those are probably my favorite moments that I remember being a player. is when the combat the drama is happening in the middle of the combat. And yeah, I like that.
It's Spanish soap opera and Errol Flynn movies. I just got to combine it.
Oh my god, yes. Yes.
That'd be fun.
All right, Trinkle, hit me up. What do you want?
What do I want? What do I want?
You
I know, this is like suddenly now you're like, what do you want? What do you want?
Yeah, like David Jones.
That's how I felt.
Right?
I really think we did get a bag of holding. Can we please get one finally? I really want one. So if we're going for
I
items,
sense some veiled
you have a-
critique in there. Do you want
Do you have a color preference?
ooh, I want like a Bahamut's colors, and I get to wear it. And it's perfectly my size. Yes, that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
And it has pockets for owl bears on the outside.
Yes.
Saved
Yes.
owl bear pockets because we have owl bears. We forgot to tell you that.
We have like
Breathable
5.
air.
We technically have. Don't we have 3, and then we have 3 eggs technically that we could have picked up.
I don't
I
know
guess
if
it
we grabbed
depends
the
if Elindra is taking any with her.
Oh yes, if Elinder's taking anyone. Well, we have
Maybe-
owl bear pockets that they need to be saved, so maybe like little. I don't know.
They
Anyway.
also need breathable air in them.
Yeah, you don't want to put the owl bears.
No, we're not putting the owl bears
Exactly.
inside the bag of holding because that might be a problem.
You want like baby bajorns for
Yeah,
the owl
exactly.
bears.
That's what I'm talking about. So like the baby bajorans on the outside of like a bag of holding. So I think that works. We do have 6 owl bears. Holy crap! I didn't remember that. So that's one thing. Yeah.
But they're babies, right? They're not.
Yeah, they're teacup owl bears,
that eventually may one day grow.
which may
Oh,
one.
the
Okay.
teacup owl bears. Yes.
Teacup owl bears.
You have 6.
Yes. And I would love to have a cool cape at some point. That's just me. But for Trinkle, probably the biggest things for her is I probably figure out more relationship stuff. She probably will want at some point, if possible, to try to find the paladin who saved her. And or visit her hometown just because she has some kind of loose ends out there with her family. But more than anything is just to be able to probably help out Ziomedes, try to get good scrub, literally.
We're all such
So-
dweebs. We're like, I want to have a relationship.
I don't get enough of it in my own
I
life.
want to know what
But
feelings
also,
are.
I want to be Natalie dressed in a cool cape when I do it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, exactly. With little owl bears. I mean, come on.
it is all
dream.
completely fair. This is fantasy. We're supposed to be having fun, so why can't we look cool, act cool, and have an awesome relationship and be in a Franz Frazetta painting at the same
Same time.
right?
The dream.
This is gonna be a great session. I already can see this. But yeah. And I like, as I was saying with Lauren, I think a mix of both. Like literally, Lauren, I like having combat with the role playing. I probably am a little bit more role playing, but like she says, if you can have combat and role play at the same time with like deep stories, I'm all about that.
All right, simple. Yeah, sure, easy.
Yeah.
I can do that. All right.
Yeah.
Diomedes, how about you? What immediate goals and desires do you and your player and your character?
Okay, so immediate ones. I need answers. Where's sugar come from? I mean, what are you doing here?
Well, when a mommy and daddy love each other.
Yeah, we need to talk about that background.
I guess immediate ones are all really tied to other characters. Wanting Trinkle, wanting to know where Sugar has been all this time and what they've been up to, and my brother. So there's got to be some sort of. I think
Thank you, Kent.
I'd like to revisit the tension with my brother. I don't think it's ever going to be a fully resolved thing. He's the way he is because he is Ryland, and I think it's always going to be a case of me trying to pull him back to the light, and then he slipping into the darkness, and I'm like, no, come back, brother. So I think there's going to be more tension with that, and possibly even, I don't know, it might get extreme, or it might just be a constant thing there. But it really depends on his character, what they decide to do. So yeah, I look forward to seeing some more tension between the brothers, and it being a constant thing on his mind. Long term, obviously, he wants to do these heroic deeds, but he's been a bit he's been a bit confused recently. Like, wasn't the Destiny box supposed to be this calling? Wasn't this supposed to be something great that he was supposed to perform? And now, actually, he's been tricked. This was all a ploy to summon this vampiric-like individual. And so Zymedes feels like he's been a bit of a fool, blindly following, and now he's probably going to be a bit more discerning of things and not so naive in just performing heroic deeds. He's going to try and, work things out before he just places hands on boxes, because that's how it all started. He just followed a voice and was like, yes, it's calling, and then, oops, got worse and worse. But as a player, I would definitely like some sort of ability to protect my allies, because I run into battle and I'm like, come at me! And they all run past and heal the squishies, and I'm like, no!
This is a
The eternal
mistake.
problem of the barbarian.
Yeah. Oh, man. But something like a shield, maybe, or something, even if it's story-wise, it doesn't have to be something mechanical. It could be a story way to protect my allies. Because there's no, taunt mechanic in D&D. I can't tell an enemy to come towards me, but there are some mechanics.
Yeah, you set up
Goading
fire
attacks.
around, that kind of-
Yeah. But,
you could does your weapon have reach?
And no, it doesn't. That'd be a cool thing. Maybe I should take maybe I should take a feat. At what level are we? 7? So maybe next level I'll take a feat that tries to help that, like Polar Master or something. But yeah, I do need a new shield though, for sure. All I've had for the while is a lid.
You
a
have
hatch.
a new shield.
Yeah, so I ripped that off, and beforehand I had like a really cool shield with the symbol of Bahamut on it, like a platinum dragon. But the shield itself wasn't platinum. I think as a dream I'd like an actual platinum shield. That'd be so cool, or at least one inlaid with it, maybe. As a player, I'd also like to see some fears for Zymedes. I think at the moment he's too. He's a fearless warrior, sure, but I think there's got to be some deeper thing for him. Maybe he's fear of failure, maybe he's fear for his brother, but
Maybe I turn you to the dark side as well a little bit.
yeah, perhaps that happens, and then I'm like, what have I become? What's happening to me? Am I? Yeah, that's true. That could be a great thing. I like that idea.
Yeah.
I start to slip away, and then it falls to Trinkle to try and pull me back, and it's like this tight.
Oh my goodness, guys! Do I have to do everything?
But by the end of it, me and Nyla and Zymedes were like the Addams family. We're looking
Oh my goodness!
real creepy looking.
Yeah. So some things to moral quandaries for him, and I think also temptations for him as well. That'd be cool. So he's not just this fearless dumb warrior. He does have fears inside him. He does have these worries and doubts about himself and others. But yeah, that'd be cool. I did really enjoy last season the whole love triangle / pentagon / it was, what a crazy ride that was, and we were all in the storm of it. I think me and Will felt like we're in the middle of this ongoing tug of war of love. It was crazy, but something that could upset the balance, that'd be hilarious. Something that comes along.
Goodness.
What's this new plan?
Are we watching Friends or something?
Yeah, I was gonna
Like,
say.
straight
We're
up,
playing
right?
Friends. We're
That's
in
absolutely
Friends,
what
guys.
it's always
Wait, who's
been.
Ross and Rachel?
I don't want to ruin anything, but I definitely want to.
Next season,
Nobody
we
should
were
be
on
wrong.
a break.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, Nyla just
Star
shot you
Trek
with an
when I
arrow.
What is that this is actually a CW show. It's a CW Star Trek show, so it's all going to be about those love triangles. Absolutely.
Awesome. As a player, that was my favorite part. Was just that whole storm of interrelationships and stuff. Wait, doesn't sound right. But yeah, no. So I'm looking forward to some weird upsets, and maybe I don't know. This new paladin I might get jealous of whoever this is, someone else that Trinkle looks up to, and yeah, maybe Nyla and Rylan have some differences, and who knows?
Maybe I fall back in love with Rylan again.
I'll kill you.
The really funny thing to me about Rylan and Nyla's relationship is that it just shouldn't work in any real sense.
No.
Because he's
Yes,
he's
it
a
doesn't.
completely different
It
person
shouldn't,
from
but
her.
it's working. It's just, and it's so awkward. It's so awkward.
It's like the Yeah, it's like the prom date when you were 13 years old, you know?
Oh, gross.
But I'm all for a happy ending. I'd only want to make upset so that it's more meaningful in the end when perhaps they do get back together, like the couples. That is, who knows? But I think some upsets along the way will be most.
You want to
entertaining.
destroy our relationship, goddammit, Chris.
And Princess Bride is all back together at the
I
end.
know.
Yeah,
It should be like a
Listen,
rom-com,
Chris is
yeah.
a romantic. Come on, let's just say that.
You want to see Rylan running through the streets as it's raining, trying to get the last train to the.
I mean,
where
Nyla's,
at, yeah.
Nyla's original fiance could always come back. That's the thing that could happen.
Oh boy.
Not that she liked him, but you know.
Well, we had my fiance come back last time, and I had ended up murdering her. So
Yeah, well,
could
I was
work.
gonna murder her too.
Lauren, do you
Right.
have
No, I
something?
wasn't.
Does Sugar have?
yeah,
I don't know.
what I want to figure
Yeah,
out as
Sugar.
well
We need more about Sugar.
is like how we're related. Like,
Okay. Well, the idea was that she was much younger than you guys, so you were already kind of out and about. And she went to a temple when she was really young and just stayed there. So I wouldn't assume close, but literal. The idea was literal sister. Just younger and away.
So you didn't even know you had her.
We'll get a little more into that in that first episode because I'm sure there'll be tons of questions, lots of
Okay.
character questions. Yeah, all the questions. Because I'm excited to hear your characters ask those exact same questions. But yeah, we did talk for a little bit about how to integrate her character into the group because yeah, she was worried about, well, here's two couples and I'm a fifth wheel. It's like, well, how do we make that fifth wheel
No.
fun?
Yeah.
So
Destroy everything.
You are literally in the middle as well.
she's the driver of the group. You didn't know that.
Yes.
She's gonna
Ooh.
show up. Yeah.
Yes.
So, along with what you guys want and what your characters want and what y'all want and what y'all need, what I also like to go into is what you don't want, which I think is just as important, especially in the session 0. And especially with me taking over the DM chair, the last thing I want to do is step on a landmine that people don't want to go off. Because you know what? We're all people and we're here to have fun. And yeah, there can be exciting and dangerous moments and there can be senses of urgency and people can get upset. But there are certain things that everybody doesn't want to have to deal with. Now, the usual way that I go into this with my home groups is if you feel like telling me or saying it, in this group just publicly, that's cool. If not, you can always just shoot me a message, either later or off air or whatever. But I'll put forth mine, which is usually a pretty obvious one until you actually think about what those ramifications can be. Rape will never show up in my game. And it's one of those where people go, well, yeah, why? But the instant, say your characters are to get captured, or we're talking about saving someone who has been abducted, that's one of those things that I just like to take off the table. It's not fun for me to play. It's not fun for you guys. And it's not that it can't be done right in a D&D game. It's just not something I'm comfortable ever doing. So it just won't happen. It's never something that any of my NPCs are going to threaten you with. It's never anything that you're going to have to encounter. So is there anything that people want? And if there isn't, that's okay. And it can be something as serious as rape. And it can also be like snakes. And I'm not talking about like, ooh, snakes are icky. I have had players who are, arachnophobic, and the instant they put a spider mini on the map, they're like, nope. So is there anything that you guys would like to avoid?
Let's see. What can I broadcast now?
Well,
Those
and
things.
yeah, I mean, well,
Terms of service thing.
exactly.
Let me look at this terms of service.
This isn't a speak now or forever hold your peace kind of thing. If you either want to DM me later, or if something comes up later and you're like, oh god, no, this isn't, if you're not having fun with something just because it makes you feel icky, you just let me know and
yeah.
things can change. because it's a game.
I enjoy a little bit of party angst, but I don't enjoy too much party angst where we start like every session you come and you feel like really stressed because you don't know if you can like kill each other or like betray one another or murder one another. So I don't think that will happen in this game particularly because we're all super chill and the characters are all pretty comedic. But yeah, I found, I realized that recently I don't like too much party angst when I'm playing.
Yeah, I agree with that. PvP makes me... I remember one of the first games I ever played was that just came up when new characters were introduced, and they were like, that's what my character would do, would be to attack you. It's like, yeah, but who are you across the table from me?
Mm-hmm.
We're all here like under some kind of social contract of like playing a game together, which is, I think, part of the appeal. So I would agree with Will. I don't like a lot of PvP angst anytime, but yeah, when it gets to that point, it's like, meh.
That can be difficult, and it can be difficult to adjudicate too, without it bleeding over into personal stuff, and also it's never fun when I have to say, all right, one of you roll a sleight of hand check and the other roll a perception check to see if you steal from the other person. It's like, really? So I don't see that happening in this group, but it's always good to verbalize these things.
Totally. I have one that's super, I told you about already, but sounds so shallow, but I think it's important to say because people have all sorts of things. It always makes me feel weird when like some kind of mundane change happens to my character's appearance. Like I see them in a specific way because it's like a fantasy game and they don't have to worry about like silly things like what they look like. They can just look wonderful all the time. And it's a nice little escape for me. And that's just something I like. And now like polymorph or anything like that, like spells and stuff, that's cool. That's all like on the table. It's like rando things. Yeah.
So are we talking like mud splatters, or if I?
Oh no, mud splatters are fine. I remember,
but no cutting your hair.
Do not cut my, unless it looks really good.
I like the time that my hair got burnt, and then it was at a weird spot.
It looked really
But
good.
it looks awesome though.
And
No, it was like a
it
good burn.
looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just a random one of mine that I discovered about myself.
And that's fine. That's totally fine. I mean, once again, we're all here to have fun, and we all have those little things that are like, it may seem weird or dumb or shallow to be like, no, I really don't want to lose a hand. I don't want to have to worry about my hair color or anything like that. But you know what? If it's going to bother you, it's super easy to just avoid, phantom barbers. We can do that. That's easy. Unless you want it. I
do like Sweeney Todd a lot.
Yeah,
making things difficult.
Yeah, no, none of those meat pies. Let's avoid those. Anything else. And as I said, if you don't want to here, you can just DM me later.
I'm pretty chill.
Yeah, same.
I just can't think of anything.
Yeah, well, I think the thing is like I have had the Dungeons and Dragons groups that don't necessarily work because of those issues, but I think because we've already kind of like we've been here already working for like 4 months already, and so like a lot of those things kind of have already kind of phased out, and like we've already kind of built a group. And I think like we talked about, even though our relationships are kind of cheesy, they do help us feel more like willing to help one another rather than like a conflicting force,
Yeah.
Right.
That's
no evil parties.
Yeah. No, well, yeah. I mean, I don't feel like I'm gonna be like the MDs. Let me steal this shield. Like, no, it's weird.
If anything, like do what you to Zymedes. Like he can take it. He's
oh baby.
He's
Mr.
Yeah, I was like, who are you talking to, Chris?
sorry, we're talking about characters.
Do what you want.
Do what you want.
Take me.
Take me.
His shirt's already off.
Exactly. You can beat him up. You could kidnap him. You could. That'll be a great little reversal. Zymedes is the one who gets.
Great little role reversal.
Trinkle's the one who gets.
So you like bondage? Okay.
Keep it in the bedroom.
All right, Chris.
Keep it in the bedroom.
Get a room.
Oh no.
Or wherever.
What I have to say is this game starts at 10 o'clock in the morning for me, and
Same.
if
Is it
that's
hot
how you
in
want
here?
me to start my day,
I mean,
kudos to you, my friend.
it'll wake you right up, Lauren.
That's it.
All the tea and a little bit of bondage. That'd be great. All right.
What I'm saying is, Zamides is oiled up and ready to go. He's ready for anything.
Good. Good.
Now you're just saying things.
Uh,
Now
Yeah,
you're doing
yeah.
it.
but I'm
Perfect.
so tired. It's still funny.
I love it. I respect it. I would never stop. Absolutely never stop.
Okay.
Next question.
Next question. A few little things. So it sounds like you guys were doing milestone advancement for leveling up. So we'll just keep going with that. I've done all sorts of ways of leveling up in the past, and definitely after we've played for a little while, if you guys are like, "Hey, I'm looking forward to level 8," just say something.
That's exactly how I'm gonna say it.
Yeah,
Just like that.
Yeah, you know, that awkward moment of, we've been playing for a while and we just killed like 4 dragons. Can I get a long rest and a couple more spell slots? Yeah, just say something. Any other? Do you guys have any questions for me? As I'm the newbie.
Do you have a favorite DM moment so far?
In this last hour, right here would probably be the oiled up Ziomedes. Right, that made me
Strong
super happy.
contender.
Yeah.
It'll just keep going from there.
Like overall, ever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many. A quick one that comes to mind. I do love offering characters a chance to do, if not a moral quandary, a real moment in where, like, oh, I know this is a bad idea, but my character super wants to do it. I DM'd for a game called Destiny and Doom, and we had a whole bunch of characters who were all in different situations, but all of them kind of searching for something. We had a paladin who didn't know who his god was. We had just a bunch of characters who were all looking for things. And at towards the very end of the game, in the last episode, because it was tied into Tomb of Annihilation, Asarak showed up. And they didn't really know who he was, which was awesome because that was not the point. The point was just this very powerful being showed up and essentially offered them, hey, stop what you're doing, and instead of doing the good thing, come work for me, and I can make the things you want happen. You know, you're the paladin that you don't know who your god is? No, screw him, worship me. The ranger, the rogue who wants to go and make some money, I got some jobs that need to get done. You know, like basically just hit every single one of them. And there was about 5 minutes where I actually thought they were gonna go for it. And it was a kind of a beautiful 5 minutes of them like talking to each other in and out of character, trying to figure out like at one point I offered all this and I just sat back and I saw them all go. And that was kind of a fun moment. They stayed good and they finished everything. But you know, it was a fun moment. So I think any of those moments in where I can inspire a real decision. And it's not like, oh yeah, no, this makes total, like those decisions are fun too. Just like, oh no, we're gonna go save the child out of the burning building. Absolutely.
I mean, if we have to.
Yeah. Those are fun. I also there's a couple of moments in Dungeon Drunks that make me happy, and it's mostly just us playing around with foosball tables. So if a foosball table shows up, you'll know why. But yeah, I guess that'd be the one that I think of. Any other questions?
That's definitely what I want for like Ziomedes is like difficult decisions, moral quandaries, and temptations. I think that'll be a cool thing to do.
No, I mean, that's
Likewise.
kind of the source of any good story, you know? It's not
Definitely.
the simple, easy decisions. It's the ones where you're like, wait a second, like,
Yeah.
I have to really think about this.
Yeah, same with Ronan. I mean, he is a misunderstanding of what is right and wrong, so, you know, he needs to find a better definition of those terms, I think, this season, and sort of grow as a person somewhat, because the beginning of the season, he was just, like, straight up mean to everyone.
I know, Nyla really hated you at the beginning of the season, I'm not gonna lie.
I think he probably overlooked pretty much everyone except from himself. Maybe his brother, but he was jealous of his brother as well, so yeah, he's got some issues to work on.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing these characters interact and grow as a team without all of the immediate pressure of like this story. Like I feel like you guys have gotten through this amazing experience and come out the other side in a whirlwind, and I'm looking forward to offering the chance to let you explore that a little bit more with plots that maybe aren't more than a couple of hours or 2 episodes.
Yeah. Question, I guess, for you, Lauren. Are we Obo crazy? Sorry, that's going to be confusing, isn't it?
No, I can hear the tonal difference.
Yeah.
And you can totally call me
Minus
like,
Lauren.
Yeah,
Lauren.
no, that's yeah. Hers is the happy one, mine's the other one.
Yeah.
And I'm
Which makes me happy.
give it a couple episodes and it'll switch. But you can go crazy. Like that's my job. Is I'm a professional oboist. I'm used to conductors calling me oboe. So if you use that, that's not weird.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's not usually one more than one of you, if that.
And if there is, then it's oboe 1 and oboe 2.
Two, exactly.
If you call me oboe 2, I'll be a little confused, but I'll still.
She'll still have
another
two.
That's our tonal shift for her. When we're
Oh,
happy,
yeah.
we just call her Obo. When we're not happy, it's Obo too.
Yeah, that's it.
Oboe, come on.
The savagery.
Especially because we know that you want that first chair. I was in band, so
I was in band.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, I know those things. Oh, okay.
What was my
What was
question? Oh yeah. Are we going straight in from the end of Darkhold straight into this? Are we having any downtime? And also, is there any like stuff we need to know diving in, or will we just dive right into it?
Those are excellent questions. Where the season ended last time with you guys waking up in an inn with sugar right there, that is literally the moment we will begin with next week. You will have had a long rest. So
Oh god, I was like dead.
you were dead. You were
I was dead.
Yeah, you were all dead. But you've had a long rest, and we'll explore that a little bit. So at least mechanically, you can come with characters that have had a long rest, and there will be time to deal with that. But yeah, we're going to be picking up immediately at that moment. In fact, my opening will probably be just recapping those last few moments from the final game. So if you would like to have a little bit of a preview of what's going to happen next week, watch the last 5 minutes of the finale of last season, and you'll know exactly where we're going to pick up. It's like the Lawrence talked or something.
I got a question.
Awesome.
With so many character-related questions, and it does seem like it's all about us, but is there a story that you want to tell, and is there a plot or things that we're going to be like inside, or are they going to be very much more character-tied?
To be honest, that's why I wanted to do a show like this with more one-shot kind of things, because don't get me wrong, like the longer campaigns and full seasons that are all about one continuous show or one continuous plot are amazing, and I love them. But I just personally love running shorter little encapsulated plots, you know, stuff that you can run in one day, stuff that like, hey, friends, come on over, we're gonna spend 6 hours, I'm gonna order a pizza and we're gonna play D&D, because I feel like it invites a lot more of the craziness. Like, I can do weirder things if I don't have to worry about getting you from what last week was to this week.
Yeah.
Say, hey, and you're here now.
Right.
Welcome. Let's go. So it's not that it's a specific plot that I'm excited about. It's that the freedom to take these characters who you guys have created, this fantastic group of characters, you already have this amazing chemistry together, and just pick you up and softball you in 20 million different directions is kind of what I'm looking forward to. Which is also why I was asking, like, character-wise, what you guys want, because, you know, sometimes it'll just be go save the princess, and sometimes it'll be something maybe a little more personal, and it's a little more freeing than trying to have to work everything into one continuous campaign. It could just be, and this week, Monster of the Week is...
Right, yeah.
Like the old, like the first couple seasons of Buffy.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm highly in support of.
The Buffy,
always, at any time.
X-Files,
Yes.
or, as I said, like Star Trek, any of the older TV shows that were self-contained 1 hour drama shows that still had the same characters that you came in, and every once in a while had like Buffy, earlier seasons of Buffy, definitely not later seasons with all the angst.
I mean, we're avoiding angst.
Avoiding
There will
angst.
be an episode where you will all be required to sing.
Mhm.
I mean, that will happen.
Good.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yes, let's sing it.
I should have mentioned that. I should have mentioned that earlier.
Yep. Get your vocal warm-ups in. It'll just
Will's
happen.
first.
Gonna make us
Yeah. Will goes first.
Yeah.
He jams.
I do.
Or whatever the
Sure.
kids call it.
Whatever the kids call it these days, yeah.
Jam.
Yeah. No, I used to sing in a band. Yeah. Couple of things.
What?
Yeah. We went. There's a whole story to that. Yeah. We toured with Bring Me the Horizon for 6 months when I was like 17. It was good times. This down the bottom left of your screen, you should see the little spinny animation thing, which is new. So we have new things on the screen on our overlay, which is awesome. Vader Grimjack for the raid and host. Welcome in, everybody. Good to see you guys. We're going for our session 0 right now. Something that I wanted to ask and sort of go over, because me and Chris have never spoken about this, and we kind of made it up on the fly as we did it, and now Lauren's also one of the Adler brothers.
Parents?
Sister, not a brother. You're not a brother. You're not one of our brothers.
I would definitely be the best looking brother.
It's like who are our family? Where exactly do we come from? What is our backstory? Because like me and Chris were like, we're brothers, ha! And then there was
That was
Yeah.
the exact conversation. I remember.
that was pretty much
Yeah.
it.
Those are the best D&D moments.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure, and we've never like sat down and it's never been codified in any way. Like, I mean, I'm happy to not codify it if we don't want to either, but I would like a better understanding of like, you know, I had in my head the idea that our parents maybe are still alive, maybe they're dead, but either way, they're probably never really approved.
So I did write a bit, but
Oh, you did? Okay, so let me know because I haven't read any of this.
okay, because I think you said like, okay, yeah, whatever, man, you just go take that and
Yeah, I
do
was like,
whatever.
do it.
I was like, oh,
Yeah, I
alright.
was like, somebody get me something.
okay.
Okay, yeah.
Something.
So I don't know.
So I did feel a little, but it's nothing, so we can totally reshape it if we want. We can retcon. But I did on my character sheet on the PDF, right? The first line is, the Adelaide boys' parents were killed. So
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, that's good.
The fact that they're still alive might be a bit of a plot, like, no,
Plot
actually,
twist. Spoilers. Yeah.
surprise. Could be a surprise. We don't know.
Yeah.
Are they
I
alive?
I had in my
Maybe
mind
that's
that they
when
were dead.
had sugar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I never really outlined what happened. So all it says is that they were killed and when they were younger, and then suddenly the celestial guide came along. A Deva found them when they were lost, and they were still young, Asima, and wandering around without purpose. And then she took the brothers under her wing, trained them as powerful adventurers to face the evil in the world, including those that were responsible for their parents' death. So, hey, you can totally take that and be like, plot twist, they're actually still alive if you wanted to be it, but I don't know, it could be... What are your thoughts?
I think there were a few references last season that they were dead, because there was something about, you know, they had left a sort of will behind, and it was sort of Ryland had taken upon himself to see that you married to like a good family, because we're from a noble family, so they definitely were rich or influential. I don't know who killed them or if we care. Or, you know, or if they just died. You know, I don't know if they were murdered or did they just pass away. Maybe they were really old, Asimar, or they went to fly up into the sky and go to heaven or whatever.
Right. Or maybe we should care, and that's a story.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, maybe this is like a
Maybe
plot.
we should
Yeah,
care
yeah.
about the dead parents.
Maybe
Hang
that's a
on.
hook we should follow.
Hang on a tick.
I don't know. And Lauren, I mean, feel free to come in also as well, because it's much your
Yeah, you're
backstory
saying
as it
that.
is ours.
Indeed.
Were
So
they
now-
were they killed? Do we think? Did they just pass away and now we're? Do they have like a like land that they own and we've just sort of fucked off and be like, hey, I don't know. I mean, Obo as well. Feel free to like
Oh,
make this
that
shit up
was-
as
oh,
well.
no,
I mean, I
I'm
don't-
staying out of this.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
That wasn't me. I couldn't tell. The tone wasn't
Oh,
Tell us
no.
that.
disparaging enough.
Sorry, Lauren.
Oh, that's
why
me.
don't
That's me.
why don't you do something?
That was. Yeah, I think I only had a brief conversation with Chris last season about it, but I think I like the idea that they have land somewhere. I like having some kind of base. Things to care about, I think, are always good, strong choices.
Yeah.
In D&D or acting or whatever it is, love is always a strong choice. So a place that is associated with that, I think, gives you something to care about. So, yeah.
I see something happening is like that tension between the brothers and all sisters that happens during the story, and when it reaches like its heightened kind of most breaking, like the breaking point, is when suddenly we're introduced with that clue or that hint as to who that villain was or who that evil was that killed our parents, and perhaps then that suddenly forges our ties back together. You're like, there's a bigger conflict, or there's a goal that we can work towards. So maybe that's
Okay, so maybe we never knew. Like, they were killed, we investigated, no one could find out how they died or who killed them, etc. And then
that gives you free reign then, Obi.
Yeah,
having free reign, it makes me happy.
Yeah, maybe that's why we travelled out. You know, we're like, at first we were sort of seeking any evidence that we could find, and then we got carried away with the Destiny books.
And then you died, and I got the land.
We would have been kids at the time, like we wouldn't have known. And so when we finally become stronger, it's always kind of at the back of our minds, but it's fallen on the wayside because we've got so many more things to worry about now. But hey,
I like that. I like that idea a lot. Like something happened to them that we don't know.
Right. We were too young.
How old are you guys?
33.
Okay.
I don't know how old I am.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
How old's Trinkle?
I'm probably
How old?
I'm actually 26.
Oh,
I'm 95 years old.
I'm the
boy.
baby.
You're
Wait, you're
so old.
95 years old?
Yeah, that's because that's
You're
elsewhere.
like 3
that's
times
young
older
right
than
now.
Wait, how old is Rylan?
That much older than Zion.
He's in his 30s for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sugar is 22.
Okay, so you're the youngest.
95 is very young for an elf. I'm like, just...
No, you look great.
You look great for your age, I'll say that.
To be honest, Ryan probably wouldn't be too worried about that.
You wouldn't know.
He wouldn't ask.
You wouldn't... I wouldn't disclose that to
I
anyone.
like that idea. Maybe we do have a clearer hint, and it's and Sugar knows it, but the two brothers don't. Oh. Sorry, I was just reading chat. Someone said it's very suspicious the missing sister wasn't there at the time of the attack. Suspicious? Maybe. Maybe you do know something that you're not willing to share.
I was in a temple. I was being
all
very,
right.
very innocent. I'm super good all the time, and I have nothing to apologize for.
Says the
That's exactly.
Hey, okay. Sure, you weren't there.
No, very innocent little Sugar. That's definitely how she talks.
Maybe you do know
Get
something.
ready.
Oh, good.
Get ready. She never stop talking like it. It's going to be a problem.
She also never stopped talking. She just keep talking.
Also that, because I just
Milo would probably ask Rylan, like, do you care about her? Can I kill her?
I'm not sure yet.
All right, wait. Hold all that for next week. And then I'll just sit here.
Yeah, just eating popcorn. So we don't know Sugar too well then. We left before we got to know you too well.
Yeah, I think because I had that she went off when she was like 10 to be raised in a temple. So
my memories of you would be as a baby, really.
Yes, a very cute little baby.
Oh.
Are you
Yes.
sure? You were cute.
With an
Sam?
adorable butt.
I love you, don't.
Sam,
I'm still scared of you.
thank you.
I can see Rylan, trying to make himself the prominent brother to Sugar, sort of like that competitive thing that I'm closer to Sugar than Diomedes is, that sort of thing, and in turn also Kin is saying in chat, enabling her to do terrible things because
she is actually so she's a paladin of Suni, who's a good god, but she has some more things in common with Rylan than might initially be expected.
So this could be one of those relationships that helps or hurts Rylan, depending on whether he's trying to also go for redemption or not.
Oh,
Exactly.
yes.
And also with Diomedes, I mean, if two of his siblings are kind of going to the dark side, then, I mean...
Maybe, who knows?
I'm
I
not.
think
I'm always
Ryland's
very
not
shiny.
conscious.
I keep my armor very shiny.
I think with Ryland, it's not a conscious descent.
Right.
It's like a, yeah, you know what I mean? It's like not willingly going, but
Yeah, I think
Just
he's probably just
naturally.
very misguided, and
Right,
his also his like his thirst for power and his arrogance lead him into doing things that are not the right decision or the good decision.
so and yeah, in doing so, you might accidentally take someone with you. And
Well, I mean,
like,
I pretty much Nyla. I mean, she was like this
I'm
sweet little
ruined.
elf
How
girl at the
did that
beginning of the
happen?
show.
I was a very like innocent.
baffled as to how
And
it
then
happened.
she shoots somebody's hand.
I
I
did-
stupid pot of gold.
I was
Love
trying
changes
to be
you.
Impressive.
Go back and analyze how that happened.
See, that's really that's funny to me as well because it's really dangerous. Because I think Rylan probably needs someone like Nyla who is like close to him and understands him, and is like, no, what the hell are you doing, you twat? Why are you doing that?
I think Nyla would say no to certain things. I mean,
Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah.
What's? Never
Was
mind.
that
Not
whole
going
thing this
there.
morning about oiling it up in bondage? Or...
What is
Oh.
Nyla's safe?
Oh my goodness!
You're welcome, Sam. You can PM it to me. I want to know.
it's probably something to do with trees.
With vines.
Oh boy, no. He looks so interested,
Oh my
Chris.
goodness. Is it like Ariel?
With vines.
Yeah.
So I think something interesting about Rylan for me is that I don't think, as much fun as we make of him, like, I always called him a Scourge Lord in my head because he's a little edgelord Scourge Azamar.
Mhm.
Mm.
But I never got the sense that he actually, like, wanted to be alone.
Right.
Like, I think, that was always interesting to me that he still wanted, to be
Companionship
around.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he needs.
True.
Yeah, he definitely loves his brother. He's always had his brother, so he definitely always has that, and he probably does enjoy having someone that he can, like the Doctor Who sort of sidekick
Yeah.
that he can explain stuff to, because otherwise there's kind of no point in him being clever in his mind unless he can show it off.
Right. If he doesn't have an audience, there is no point.
Yeah, he enjoys an audience for sure.
Yeah.
I can relate to that.
I hate an audience. I'm kidding.
As he looks straight into his camera.
Audiences. No, that's it. Now I'm never getting any. And no one's ever given me a nat 20. That's it. I've just lost the whole audience.
That's it. That's
Well-
what's done it.
If there are no more questions, the only other thing that I had on the docket for today was playing around with Fantasy Grounds, which I don't know if we want to do on air or off.
Yeah.
But that kind of concludes my main episode 0
Mhm.
funness.
Yeah, absolutely. I figured we could also open up the stage to the audience to ask us some questions about our characters now that they've heard us talk about them, and ask Gobo Crazy as well any DM questions or things about the campaign. I think I saw one in chat earlier, which was: are you creating these modules yourselves, or are you running, Out of the Abyss, Curse of Strahd, the Storm King's Thunder?
Oh, these are
Yeah.
all out of my twisted little brain. They'll be set in Sword Coast-ish, Faerun-ish, but no, these will all be completely created just for these characters and just for you.
Nice.
That was cheesy. I enjoyed being that cheesy.
It's okay. We're basically playing friends in D&D, so
Yeah.
it's-
Oh god.
Nobody's Ross though. Ross is the worst.
I have a feeling I might be
Girl-
Ross.
Oh, I know. I feel
I don't want to be.
It was
but I
Violet-
feel
wait,
like I
Violet
am.
Rylan's Ross.
Yeah.
I think
Wait, he's definitely not fucking Chandler, is he? I mean, like,
no.
God,
He's
let's
not a
pick a
funny
different
guy.
show.
Wait, so am I Monica and then Chris is Chandler?
Joey? I thought I was Joey. No?
Yeah, I feel like
yeah,
this
you're
is
Joey.
what Joey.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, you're Joey. Oh, gross.
Oh no.
It's ruined it, hasn't it? It's just
yeah, let's backtrack. So.
yeah. We need a different show for
I,
us.
no,
Can
I
we
feel
be
like
How I
let me
Met Your
like.
Mother?
Chat, color
but-
the show.
But wait, Ross is a paleontologist, right? And Rylan
Yeah.
is a scientist.
Wait, Ross was a paleontologist?
Yes, he's
Yes!
a dinosaur.
Have you not watched this show?
No.
Ross, like, said
But I know
things
Ross is the
things.
worst.
Well, yeah, and Rylan's a scientist and like digs shit up, and Ross is the worst, and Rylan's the worst. They both start with R. I mean, there's a lot of similarities I'm coming across here now. So, I mean, that's all I'm
Like
saying.
friends, but it's totally not friends.
They were the cast of Friends.
I don't want to be.
We just be the cast of Westworld. Can I be
Wait,
Anthony
you
Hopkins? I would like to be that.
I want to be Dolores.
Who's Rachel and who's
That,
Monica?
can we put that on
Man.
the list? I would like a blue dress,
Okay,
like Dolores in Westworld.
Mhm, mhm.
absolutely, and
Thank
a
you.
big gun.
Oh,
Oh, by
So-
the way, firearms. There you go.
So,
Can I use charisma? Can I use charisma to shoot this? Yes.
Let me think about that.
Okay.
I'll get back to you on that one. Conrad asks, when will you kill Rylan, Kappa? Glad for the Kappa.
When? As soon as I give him a shotgun.
Good.
oh God.
OP. OP.
Have you ever all...
Then you will be too powerful.
Yes, so I've become over 9,000. Have any of us played D&D all by ourselves, or is Rav the only one? Wow. No.
I have a
By
one-on-one
ourselves.
thing.
You mean like one, not one-on-one, but one?
But one. But not one-on-one, but one.
I
Well said,
have.
Chris. Well said. You
I
have, yeah?
have, because on Roll20 I needed to know what would happen in the side story, and there was a vampire versus a death knight. And turns out the vampire doesn't have great favor. But it actually ended in a stalemate. So yeah, I've played Dungeons and Dragons on my own. Just,
When I was very young, when I was super duper young, my parents bought me not the original red box. I'm not that old. But it was one of the red boxes that included like the dice that you color in with the crayon and everything, and it came with basically if you're learning how to play D&D, it came with like not a choose your own adventure, but like here, create a character, and then it would say, all right, you're being attacked by a goblin, roll for the goblin, and then roll for yourself.
Right,
and,
right.
you know, it was kind of a very basic little adventure to kind of teach you how to play,
Mhm.
and I couldn't find anybody to play with because it was the 80s and everybody was having the satanic panic. So I basically created 20 million characters and played through killing the
Nice.
goblin, saving the goblin, all of that. But I don't know if that really counts.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I definitely, when I was younger, I had,
Yeah.
I had all of those fighting fantasy books, the Steve Jackson and Livingston ones, where, choose your own adventure ones, and that's pretty much as close as I've gotten to doing it. It would be very difficult to do it. Yeah, that would be hard. When I was really young, I had a tiny little pool table, like a snooker table, and no one would play it with me, so I just played against myself, and that's the closest I've gotten to that. So, and in
I have
many
one of
ways,
those,
snooker is similar to D&D. Go ahead.
Those 4E or something board games.
Yeah,
that
I had
found.
those. Yeah,
There's
yeah.
the Castle Ravenloft one, and I think I taught myself to play that one by myself. Kind of. I mean, you can do it. Just the one adventure, though.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Mitchie asks, what genre of tone are you going for? Horror, high, low, fantasy, political, etc.
All of them.
Wow.
Hey.
Ambitious.
I tend to. Yeah, well, I mean that's also one of the joys about doing these shorter adventures is that one week we can be doing high adventure crazy fights and the next minute it can be political. I would love with that in mind to know what genres are you guys most interested in.
Ooh.
I know I have preferences. I don't tend to go horror because I'm bad at it. I also am squeamish by it, so I can do some, but I have to dabble. But I would like to touch on everything. But like, what would you guys like? What kind of genres are you interested in?
I'm looking forward to a whole mix, but I've never been to the Elemental Planes or the Shadowfell. I mean, yeah, they're both planar, so pretty extreme. But,
Yeah,
Shadowfell
and Chris is
dark and-
English, so.
Yeah.
If you didn't know.
But no, if that's a dark and gloomy one, and then suddenly a high seas adventure one, I don't mind. Just a whole mix, whole bunch.
I like a bit of
Anything.
politics here and there,
I
Come on.
do too.
Yeah, I like a bit of Cloak and
I like
Dagger.
Yeah.
I think that's something that we probably haven't, like, this group, particularly last season, we didn't really do too much of. We did a bit of it. We had to be quite diplomatic when we were talking to Ruby, but yeah, a court-side episode would be funny. It would just be funny to see the group go in there. You know, it's like when they do the vacation holidays in Friends, and they go away to Vegas, and they have to do a couple of episodes there. I'd like to do something like that.
For all the prep I did for this game,
just watch Friends.
Watching Friends is not. But now, guess what I'm doing this week? Netflix.
10 seasons on Netflix. I've been rewatching it until like 3.
Same.
I personally have never seen Friends until 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
I had no idea what it was, and then I like binge watched it all. And
I was the same. I didn't watch Friends until probably like a month or two ago. And so it was like, you have to watch it. You just have to watch it. You're not a human unless you watch Friends. So
that's exactly how I felt.
Yeah. So I did it, and now
I feel pretty human without watching Friends. I feel pretty okay about myself and my place in life.
You didn't even know that Ross is a paleontologist. You've gone down in my
but
regard of you even further.
I'm pretty sure he's the worst without needing to watch.
No, he is. I can't.
He is the worst.
That group knowledge is that it's that zeitgeist of just knowing because it's all out there. It's like, well, I've never watched Friends, but I know that they all live in flats that they cannot afford.
Amen.
I lived in New York and they cannot afford shit.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to go into it. Okay. So.
We do get political. Just be prepared for Zymes to screw it all up, because it's very hard for him to contribute positively in those situations. So
I think it's funny when we all have to pretend to be noble except Ryland.
oh, that was so good.
Yes.
Last week.
Hard for
We did
Nyland
have
to
to
act
do that.
noble.
Yeah, you know what? I do like like I think one thing they nail, they're kind of hitting upon is putting us situations that are almost opposite of our characters is quite interesting. Just because like having to see like Ryland try to be emotional and like take care of somebody would be like really weird, and to see like Ziomedes have to be like
Try and steal something of someone.
yeah, like not heroic-ish.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun to do, like put us in situations where our characters obviously are going to be like, oh, this is the weirdest thing ever kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I like those situations.
I think it would be interesting to see Ryland meet like the clan I'm from, because they're very
Well,
like
take me home.
yeah, they're like
Meet the parents.
they're outlanders, so like it's not something he would ever be used to.
Right, it's not
Yeah.
academic and
Yeah.
the kind of thing he might observe it like through that lens, like an anthropologist.
Like an anthropologist.
Yeah. Huh.
Through the lens of anthropology is how Ryan sees. Yeah, no, that would be fun. That would be funny for sure. Go back, meet the family, get in all the worst graces, make a terrible first impression, and continue to make that terrible first impression.
I mean, you already met Tree Dad, so I feel like the worst is over.
That's true. Certainly not in the context of the same context.
Yeah.
He was like,
Although Tree Mom could be worse.
he was like, look after Nyla, and I was like, sure. And then the next fight, I went down immediately, and Nyla saved me. So.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I think somebody had asked what Obo's favorite monster was.
Ooh, that's a good
Ooh,
question.
good
I want to know.
Flumps.
Oh,
Good.
they're not a
I mean,
monster.
They're not really a monster. Every time they show up in my games, they're an NPC. But Flumps make me happy. They're fun. For an actual monster, I had a lot of fun running a dragon. I mean, you don't get to do it very often, but when you do, it feels really good to really challenge people with something that iconic. But Flumps.
Yeah.
I have
How about
actually
you?
a question for Obo.
Oh, sure.
How do you feel about picking us up like at level 7, which is kind of a unique, just because it's not like level 1 or 3, but rather we actually have a little bit more skills, technical, like how are you feeling about that? Like, you think you're gonna be able to like, I don't know, I just like...
You're gonna be able to handle that? Huh?
Yeah, be able to handle me? I mean, I got polymorph now, girl!
The technical part of it I think is great, because like the I usually like around level 5, 6, 7 anyway, because I feel like you've gotten to the point where you're no longer so squishy that I can throw things at you. I can, and you've got some skills, just throwing things at you, not just from a monster perspective, but also from a social perspective. You've specialized enough that you guys have some skills to bear on anything, and it's kind of fun that way. The harder thing about the level 7 is the social aspect. Is that, yeah, I watched the show, but like not having been part of the exploration of these characters, that's the hard part, is like picking up where OG Lauren left off, with your backgrounds and your interpersonal relationships. It's one thing to watch, it's another thing to jump in and be like, and now you're mine. So
Yeah.
and I'm also the kind of DM that just trusts that you know how to play your characters. And if you have questions, I'm totally happy to jump on and look stuff up and be like, oh no, this spell works like this or that kind of thing. But in general, if you say this, unless I know for sure, if you say, yeah, so my character can do this, I'm just gonna trust you, because at this point, I trust you guys that it's if we didn't have this awesome fantasy grounds, we'd all just be rolling on our tables, and I trust you with those rolls. So because it's not fun to be like, and I roll a nat 20 every time, where I can do 4 attacks. So as far as like all of the stuff at your disposal, the more things you guys can do, the more I can offer that won't necessarily kill you outright. So I'm actually pretty excited, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I actually don't think I've played level 7 characters for a long time, and usually more so on one-shots and stuff, but it's actually quite nice having the feeling that I know all the spells that Rylan has and can do, and I like the, not racing through the levels so much, I guess. I like it when we do level up because we get new spells and shit, but I don't feel like last season we had any feeling that we were like just blasting through levels and I don't have any idea what my character was doing, which is often how I feel with spellcasters.
Yeah, buy a level 99 tune on WoW and not know exactly what it could do.
Yeah, I'm like, what does all of these buttons do?
I don't know what this is. Yeah, it's definitely. If we were starting off fresh, I usually recommend starting at like a level 3 or level 5, because I feel like for experienced players like you guys, unless there's a story reason, starting off at level 1 is just kind of, it can be a slog. And by level 3 or 5, you guys can put stuff together. But definitely at this point, like, yeah, let's go for it. Let's get you to 20 tomorrow. Let's do it.
Oh god.
And y'all,
I want wish. I want wish.
I want you to have wish too.
Even though Zaimi just smacks stuff and hits things really hard, I still keep forgetting like abilities, and I forgot that advantage with reckless attack is on all attacks, stuff like that. I forgot I had resistance to necrotic, not just from raging, but from being an Aasimar.
Being an Aasimar, yeah, I was about to tell you that. And radiant damage.
Yeah. So many things I forgot, but hey, you're still, D&D is mistakes are gonna happen.
Definitely gonna happen. And it's not like we don't have a whole audience who are gonna remind us when
right, yeah.
Be 3d8, not 2d8, guys.
Yep. It'll be okay.
I have a question for everyone. What are you most excited about next season, or most looking forward to in the next game? Whether or not that's like, I'm looking forward to seeing how the characters progress, or, I'm looking forward to getting that bag of holding that I talked about. I start with our DM. Ope, what's exciting you for the next season?
Well, the army of flumps you guys are going to have to fight in the first episode.
Right.
I've been planning that for a while. That's definitely going to be good. It really is just being able to do kind of wacky, crazy things. I'm really excited. I said it before, and I'm not pandering. You guys, I'm lucky to essentially have been handed a pre-made group of friends who already know how to play together, and it's like, hey, just don't kill us. Like, that is a blessing that I hope to not screw up. So that's the most exciting thing, is to just give you guys things to play with and watch you play.
Oh, I don't mind if Zaiminis dies. I hold on, but loosely. So there's a death-defying thing, and there's a heroic moment for me to go out. I'm taking it. Like,
Well, let's
just,
get you to level 9 so that somebody has a resurrection spell, and then I'll
Yeah, I was like, who gives you the opportunity? I control you. You are not dying.
I control
I gave
you.
you that necklace for a reason. You are stable anytime you're knocked down to 0.
right. Exactly. So there's a story reason, which is why, like, he wants to be heroic. Maybe he goes to another plane, like a celestial plane afterwards, and he's a protector. He's going to jump into the fray. But also mechanically, I do have that necklace, which stabilizes me. But also, I'm a zealot barbarian, which enables me to be. It's like, what happens? So if I die, I don't need any material components to bring me back. It literally is like super easy to resurrect me. That's like part of the mechanics for a zealot barbarian. They're a warrior of the gods.
Right.
They're supposed to be
So
blessed.
you're hoping to die just to be
Not-
resurrected over and over and over again?
Not hoping,
Is that
but
going?
just
But
I
that's
have
like
faith.
his. Yeah, that's his thing.
It's a shtick.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
like his. What do you call it in acting?
Viking.
Super objective. He's
right.
super objective.
Rylan is
stress.
so much easier. Rylan at least has self-preservation.
Oh yeah,
True.
Rylan is chock full of self-preservation.
It's not
He's not gonna
suicidal.
die.
It's just he's willing to take the brunt of it. He's willing to take a bullet for someone, right? That's the idea. It's what's it called? Warrior of the gods. That's it.
Yeah, Rylan is
So I have
not prepared
my
to do that.
I have faith in my deity that my soul is marked for endless battle. If such a spell, such as Raise Dead or another soul effect of restoring you to life, the cast doesn't need material components to cast it on you. It's like, that's the thing. It's like, I'm willing to take the bullet. Let me take the bullet rather than you. Cause...
Well, you were smart to like get the love of a freaking bard who is a healer. Most
Yeah.
Whatever. I could have been Nyla, but you know, whatever.
Oh, wow.
Just
I
kidding.
can cure wounds.
The shots. The shots.
Sprinkle just
All,
has to have the
oh god, all the
self-preservation.
ladies. All the ladies do heals.
Self-sacrifice. There we go.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
see that being Rylan's out. He'll die
Yeah.
ignominiously in a cowardly way. Oh, dear. Okay, Sam, what are you looking forward to next season?
I think I'm looking forward to most like character development between all of us and see like the awkward stuff that happens between Rylan and Nyla because like we didn't get to talk at all in that last episode right at the end.
Right.
So like
There were a
She's
lot of
probably, like-
heartfelt goodbyes. There were a lot of we're going into battle, and so I need
Yeah.
to tell you right now.
well, it was like I was dead and then we woke up.
Right, yeah.
So I'm excited to see like just character development for everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we have such a good. I don't know. There's just a. I don't know. They're good
Vibes.
characters.
Good vibes.
They're fun.
Good vibes,
Yeah.
man. Cool, good. Chris?
Yeah, like exactly what's been said before, and more awkward situations for our characters to work the way through. Like you mentioned, being in opposites to each other, like Siamese in a social situation, or Island in a death-defying situation. Those I like, and the new platform is cool as well. Like I'm still trying to learn Fantasy Grounds, but I like learning new things and getting my grip with them. So that'd be cool. Seeing the channel like grow as well. Seeing more people in the chat and more like viewer decisions are always crazy, but when they happen, they're still a lot of fun. But I don't know. Yeah. Just seeing more things, seeing the community grow, seeing the characters grow and everything, and looking forward to seeing how OB manages to handle us. Yeah, because there's a lot of times when like,
Super
dungeon
poorly.
adventures there, but we're still talking, we're still role playing. We can get sidetracked very easily.
That's all right. I'm super happy to just sit back and be like,
This is an easy job. Yeah.
I love this. I love this part where I just sit and
Yeah.
watch you guys have fun.
Lauren. Lauren. Sorry.
No, I heard it.
That's
You
all
have
right.
two.
Good.
Yeah.
You have two tones for me. I know what they are. I think I just really missed playing. Because my the first campaign that I ever completed was on this channel, and it was still one of my fondest memories of just like friendship and and games in general. So I'm just really looking forward to being able to play, especially with people that I've known for a long time, like Chris and Will, and people that I got to meet more recently who I just adore. So I'm very, very excited about just playing.
Yeah, good. And Toto D.
I don't know what I can say that hasn't been said. I mean, I think one thing that I really appreciate is just we've all been in D&D campaigns where it's, we don't feel like we always get along with everyone, and sometimes it's hard because you're like, I don't know if I want to go D&D this week. I have one of those games right now, and I'm like, oh, if it wasn't for the fact that like I'm going for like siblings' sake, I'd be frustrated with it. But I think one thing I love is the fact that we just all get along very well, and ultimately I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm just being the super emotional like female here, but like I feel like you guys are awesome and you guys care actually about me too, and like I love the fact that we have conversations before and after, and I just feel like that really kind of led to a very positive D&D experience that allows us to really take advantage of what D&D can actually be and what it's like. I feel like, Gary Gygax is like, yeah, this is like what it's supposed to be. This is about like bonding and having a great time versus just, stressing each other out. So I guess I have to say that I am grateful for Lauren to be here too, because like suddenly like to have, well, both Laurens, but like to have Lauren as a character too, to see how that develops, because, it was more of like this like senpai situation where like we're all at her will, but now to have that kind of relationship with her as well, I think I'm looking forward to that, just to have a new character to interact and experience and to grow with while still having this incredibly solid foundation that I think we already have as friends. So
yeah, absolutely. It's always fun adding new characters to the group as well. As much as we're gonna miss Alindra.
What are we gonna do? Are we gonna try to find her? Because I feel like she's just gone.
That's a good question.
You know what? That is actually probably we would, wouldn't we?
I would. Right
on, maybe.
Riley, you do not have a say. Again, this is emotional. You're not allowed in this conversation.
This is feelings talk. You can watch and
You
learn.
can watch.
Learn. Exactly. This is when you're supposed to say yes.
Yes.
This is note-taking time.
Yeah.
This depends. Has she said goodbye or maybe left a note or something, or...
We don't know. We just woke up.
Right, exactly. So I guess there will be questions.
There will be questions.
There will be questions. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
I personally have an AU where I think her and Ruby just opened up their own super
In your head canon.
hot rogue guild.
And
they're just having a great time.
And crying a
But
little.
that's just me. I mean, crying and Ruby just nodding and not rolling her eyes because she's growing and they're growing together.
It's beautiful.
No, I'm gonna cry.
I know.
My complete tangent. This artwork is amazing, by the way. The background.
Yeah, it's
Keep
beautiful.
looking at it, and it's just so fitting. That's Darkhold in the background, right on the mountain?
It could be.
I just picture it as Darkhold. I don't know.
It looks like it. It looks
Right on the edge of a cliff, and we're
It's
kind
beautiful.
of moving away from that, and it feels like it's so fitting. It's like New Horizons, and the Darkhold's in the distance there as a thing, but not the forefront now.
You did well in your literature and art classes, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.